Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to cover 10 to 12 questions that you should be asking in your interview as a product manager. Let's say your interview is wrapping up, you're in the initial or final stage of your interview with a tech company for the product management position. What kind of questions should you ask that will make them think highly of you and let you know that you're legit? So let's start with number one. Number one, you should be asking the company what kind of agile methodology they use, whether it's Kanban, Kanban, or sprint cycles. So you should be asking them, how long is their sprint schedule? Is it 1 week? Is it 2 weeks? What's a typical task length? So that you can gauge how long to set your sprints. If the tasks are a bit larger, more story points, then you might want to do a larger sprint frame. If they're much smaller and granular, you might want to do, 5 to 7 day sprints. It depends. And if let's say there's constant reprioritization and there's a lot of influx of new things going on, then you might want to think about asking them about a Kanban approach, how they set up their Kanban board in Jira, if it's pulling from multiple projects, things like that. And if they do a release cycle with Kanban, you should ask how long that release cycle usually is. Number two, team bandwidth. So you want to figure out how big is the tech team itself, who are the project leads for each functional area of that tech team, and what kind of project categories are funneled into the tech team, so you can figure out the bandwidth, who's going to be working on what. Typically, if you're doing custom implementations, what percentage of the week does time-wise does that take up versus product feature, general strategic improvements. So you want to know your bandwidth of what you're working with your team. Number three, you want to figure out, is the entire team working on the same time zone? Are there multiple time zones? Because this is going to factor greatly with team meetings, especially let's say your daily stand-ups or sprint planning meetings or whatever it may be. You want to start thinking about at what time of the day can I schedule those so everyone can be on those calls. Number four, we got estimates. Do they do time tracking in Jira with time estimating, or do they use story points? What scale and range are the story points? Some companies do 1 through 5, or they do Fibonacci 158 all the way up to 13, whatever, depending on how hard the task is. So you want to figure out how they're estimating tasks. Number five, you want to figure out how they're prioritizing things in Jira. Let's say you're doing more of a Kanban approach where there's a constant influx of things to do in progress and in review. You want to figure out, okay, if I'm reprioritizing the Kanban board and the backlog, what priority levels do I want to filter and set for my team to know, okay, this is critical, this needs to be done today. Maybe it's a bug fix, whereas medium priority, maybe it's needs to be done in the scope of this week, let's say. So you want to figure out a system of good priority levels. Number six, as a product manager, you honestly do not need to come from a technical background, but you do want to understand terminology around the tech team and what kind of languages they work in. You want to learn just an overview of the database, structuring, architecture, what kind of API documentation your company might have, or just technical documentation that's out there. You want to know how integrations work. You want to know what kind of programming languages your team uses, whether it's for mobile or let's say, web-based programming, React Native, Python, JavaScript, whatever it may be, Angular, Ruby on Rails. So you want to know just general technology terms and what the team uses in their daily tasks. Number 7, what design software your graphic designer or design team uses, whether it's Figma, Canva, any sort of wireframing tool. You want to be familiar with that so you can collaborate with the design. Number 8, how is your roadmap set up from top to bottom? Are they using epics, a certain amount of epics per quarter? Are they just breaking it into 6 to 8 week outlook, larger chunks of what is top priority that relates to the business goal? Are they using OKRs, quarterly OKRs, things like that? You want to figure out how is your roadmap kind of split into smaller chunks of what's important and what's not important. Number 9, you need to figure out what your company's North Star is, your top business goal, because everything is going to flow ideally from that. I'm not saying your product vision has to totally line up with your business goals, because they are inherently different. One is user-based, one is revenue-based, but it should definitely be linked in some way. So you want to talk to your CEO, president, CTO, the executives on what their top business goals are, what the company vision is. Number 10, you want to figure out what are the current pain points the company is experiencing. Why are they bringing you on as a product manager? What kind of challenges are they facing, let's say the past quarter or two, so that you know where to really focus on improving those. Number 11, you want to figure out another layer to prioritizing is how are they prioritizing their business tasks and business objectives? Is it by revenue? Is it by client growth? You want to figure out basically from the sales team how you should prioritize certain clients, because it's going to get to a point where you're going to have a lot of different projects coming in from different clients. You have to narrow it down. So how are they prioritizing? Are they doing by deal size, MRR, ARR? And lastly, how are they tracking metrics? Some good metrics to track, obviously, monthly recurring revenue, churn rate, product quality metrics like bugs versus unsolved bugs. Zendesk is a great way to kind of monitor your support team metrics and product quality, because you can break it down reports based on ticket categories and product categories, or even client. Another great tool is just BI tracking, so you can really start to monitor churn, monthly churn rates, and also revenue growth. Those are some big ones. So you want to be asking these. That about does it for this video. Definitely you will see a big difference if you ask these types of questions in your interview as a product manager. They will know that you're a legitimate candidate who knows his stuff or her stuff, and I think you will definitely impress the company you're interviewing with if you start to dig into some of these things. Good luck out there. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below on what you want to see next, any tech or product management related things. Go ahead and hit that like button. See you next time.